Glad you're streaming with us. Well, they were two black men who were beaten, sexually assaulted, and shocked with tasers for 90 minutes while handcuffed. Now, the first of the 6 white sheriff deputies who committed those horrendous crimes were sentenced today in Mississippi.
In Mississippi, court documents laid out the stomach-churning horrors that were endured by the victims here. One was also actually shot in the mouth. The deputies then came up with a cover story, and at first the victims faced charges themselves, if you can believe it. ABC News' Phil Lipoff is following this story. Phil, this is just revolting and astonishing that it's the 21st century and it's still happening in Mississippi. And so they call them the Goon Squad. What was that about?
Yeah, you know, Tara, you say stomach churning. That's a perfect way to turn that phrase. It would be hard to believe if it wasn't true. This happened in January of 2023 when Rankin County Deputy Brett McAlpin got a racist call complaining that 2 black men were staying with a white woman at a home in Braxton, Mississippi. McAlpin then texted another deputy who reached out to others, part of that so-called goon squad you mentioned. All 6 have pleaded guilty to a slew of state and federal charges stemming from what happened next. They entered that home without a warrant. Once inside, they handcuffed the 2 men, Michael Jenkins, Eddie Parker, both in their 30s, sexually assaulted them with a sex toy, poured milk, alcohol, chocolate syrup all over their faces, into their mouths, mocked them with racial slurs, shocked them with stun guns. Eventually, one of the deputies, Hunter Elward, stuck a gun in Michael Jenkins' mouth, pulled the trigger, shattering his jaw and nearly killing him. They then planted a gun and drugs and tried to cover up their attack by blaming the 2 victims, who then, for months, actually faced false charges themselves.
As you can imagine, we're sitting here having a conversation, just completely revolted by everything that we're hearing, Phil. It makes us angry. Well, we're just saying, I mean, this is, we can go back to Emmett Till, and it's like, has no one learned from history? I mean, what is wrong with these people? And then you've got the Rankin County Sheriff's Office now facing this $400 million civil lawsuit, from the victims. So is there any pressure on anyone here to resign?
Well, there is. There's a ton of pressure. But in answering your question, it's unfortunately not just this incident, okay? There have been past allegations of excessive force by this department. Still, Rankin County Sheriff Brian Bailey says he didn't know about the incidents. And despite pressure by local activists, and there is a lot, and the NAACP, he says he will not step down. The federal judge in this case will sentence 2 defendants each day for the next 3 days. That will be the 6th of them. Elward, who shot Jenkins in the mouth, was sentenced today. He faces the most serious charges, and he got roughly 20 years behind bars. During his sentencing, he apologized to the victims, and Jenkins said he doesn't forgive him for what he did, but he was happy that Elward turned around and actually addressed him and looked at him, and he said, "Saw me in court."
Wow. Phil Lipoff, appreciate it. We'll of course, follow the case until the end.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.